Hey guys, Josh here, also known as G1 Hexatron, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Masterpiece MP-19 Smokescreen. Now this guy is the third installment of the Masterpiece Dots and Mold, and they do plan on doing a fourth, though it's not been confirmed. I gotta believe that is the Diaclone Blue Streak, which I do plan on picking up, and I will do a review on him once he comes in stock. But taking a look at Smokescreen, man, this guy is quite impressive. This has been the one that I've been wanting to get out of the three. And, other than him, I'd say Prowl's probably my favorite, and then Blue Streak. I just wasn't really that blown away with him. But Smokescreen, on the other hand, is very impressive. I love all the different colors here. This was modeled off a real racing car, so very nicely done. And I don't have any QC issues or anything like that, so I'm not going to do the transformation in this. But like I said, I do want to give you guys a history lesson, or at least why they came out with, the little added touches they added to this guy and some of the other figures, and where they kind of got those nods from. So let's put him to the side here, and let's grab the original G1s. There's Smokescreen, Blue Streak, and Prowl. Now, like I said, they are going to be doing, there was the original Diaclone Blue Streak. Then here we had in the US, you had our Blue Streak, which was later named Silver Streak, I believe, in 2002 whenever they lost the naming rights, but they ended up getting it back, and he's known as Blue Streak again, which is why this guy's name is Blue Streak and not Silver Streak. But anyways, this was, the original mold that they had as far as the design goes. And as you can see, just a Datsun, and he has the T-tops there, or which is supposed to represent, with the clear windows here on top, that he's, missing the T-top. So very cool there. Whenever they decided to come out with another character for the same mold, they ended up using everything exactly the same. They just repainted it. He has the same head, so what you see in the Masterpiece figures doesn't really quite add up to what you had with the original G1s. But they had the same heads, the same bodies and everything. They just painted over the T-tops here and added a light bar. Now, whenever you get into the Smokescreen character here, you can see that they made quite a few changes, and that's why I think he was probably one of my favorites. Also with the fact that, he's all these different nice bright colors, which is really cool. He has this front bumper, which unlike the Masterpiece, it is just a sticker up here for the black part, so it's not actually hollow through there. They changed the bumper, gave him that nice racing bumper, the 38s here, so you can definitely tell he's a racing car. The nice little stripes here. He also added a spoiler here in the back, which the other two Datsuns did not have. And one of the main things here is the roof. Now, like you saw with, Prowl, they just painted over the roof, and you can see the outline of T-tops and added the light bar. With Smokescreen, they took that away and gave him a brand new top. So I thought that was really cool. And whenever we first saw the original pictures, or initial releases, whenever they had all three of these guys together, they showed them like that. They showed the other two guys where they had the the T-top sections, and Prowl was just painted over, and they showed Smokescreen having just like the original G1. So I was like, man, they are really taking every nod from this guy. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. You can see that they just painted over there. So I gotta assume that this had to do with the cost that goes into making the figure. I mean, they came out with extra pieces with the bumper here, the spoiler, where the heads on Prowl and Blue Streak are subtle differences. You can definitely tell that there's something different about them. But, at first glance, you might think they look exactly the same. You're not going to do that with Smokescreen. It is completely different. Also, the little cannons are completely different as well. So there was a lot of retooling that went into them. So if that's the only thing that they missed, I guess it's not that big of a deal. But something I wanted to bring up. Now, the other thing that I wanted to kind of show you guys, that they kind of made a difference here. The very first one being Prowl. So you can see that he's got a spot for his license plate, and his lights here are painted. They're a little bit darker. Kind of the same thing here with Blue Streak. Spot for license plate. The lights are a little bit darker. Here on Smokescreen, they're obviously you can see on camera and in person, they're a lot brighter, but there's no spot there for a license plate. That's because, again, this is modeled off a racing car, and there's no need to have a license plate. So very nice nod to car. I love that whenever you look at the G1, you can see that he did not have the spot for the license plate, but whenever you look at the other one's the same on Prowl. He's got the spot for the license plate, and so does the Masterpiece. So very, very nice job there. The next thing I wanted to take a look at before we look at the car itself is the gun. So you might be thinking that this is exactly like the other guns, but here is, I believe this one is Prowl's on the bottom. As you can see that they're completely different. It's a whole new design, so very cool there. And where Blue Streak and Prowl share the same gun design, you can obviously tell the handles are different. Smokescreen's is different, so love that they just didn't use the same gun over and over. But whenever you grab the original G1, you can finally see that this looks exactly like the original G1, or very, very close to it. Let me bring in, Prowl's gun again here, if I can get all these guns in my hand here. Or, there's Blue Streaks. You can see that it kind of takes nods from both. The back end goes to Smokescreen, and the kind of middle part goes to Prowl and Blue Streak there. So very cool nod. I like that. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the original rocket launchers, and they fired and did all that stuff right there. These were the original ones that went on all three figures. They were just different colors here on the holders, but this is what they look like. And this is what the Masterpiece looks like on Smokescreen. So he comes with his own little guns here that you can put up on top, and so there's no reason to buy some kind of aftermarket Dr. Wu or Takar, whatever other third-party company is making these little things. But you just add these to the top, and you can actually do a little bit more with them. You got these little notches and these little holes down here. You can plug those in there and give them a little bit of firepower. I'm not going to do it just because it's kind of a pain getting all that stuff connected again. But you can flip his gun just like the others. I'll flip it forward there. You got that little notch. You can pull this little square peg out here and plug that in there, and he's got just like a ton of firepower, which looks a little bit ridiculous, to be quite honest. But I want to give you guys one final 360, and we'll take a look at all 6 of the members in bot mode. One thing I wanted to point out with, all these little decals are all tamper-graphed on, so you don't need to put anything on. And I think this is really the first time that got a Masterpiece figure in, and I don't feel like he needs repro labels. Everything is done right just because he has all the little decals. The other thing is where you see the white stripe go through. I believe you're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels here, and the white stripe lines up all the way across. Even here on the spoiler, everything looks so perfect. Same thing here. There's no sloppy paint job or anything there, so very, very nice, awesome. You got the Autobot, symbol on there, tamper-graphed as well. And like I mentioned, the front bumper, these are actually holes cut in, and they're not, just some black sticker on there. So very cool, and he does roll quite nice. So we'll go ahead and get into the robot modes. Give me a moment to transform all 6 of these guys, and I will see you guys there. Now taking a look at the robot mode, before we get into the articulation and similarities and differences between Blue Streak and Prowl, wanted to show you guys one non-Dotson, comparison here. Here's Generation Springer. Most of you guys have this, so kind of gives you a good idea of how tall and large the figure actually is. Now, one of the things that would not be a comparison if I did not have the original G1 here, you can see that they took quite a few nods from him. Now, as far as the robot mode goes, obviously the spoiler, the bumper. Now, the faces on all the G1s are exactly the same, and the wheel section here on all the G1s are exactly the same, but they did do a few different things with him. But just kind of giving you guys a little 360 here. These guys look incredible together. I mean, it almost makes me want to put them on the shelf side by side. I love the feet design down here, how they took the nods from the original G1. As far as the wings, you can kind of do them different ways, and we'll get into that when we cover articulation. The only negative I have with the Dotson mold is the hollowness here in the back of the legs, but I mean, it's a Masterpiece and everything else looks perfect, so it's not really that big of a deal. Plus, it's going to be facing the wall anyway. But very, very cool. Really like them. Now, one of the things that was kind of different on Prowl and Blue Streak, besides the head, was the waist section. So, as you can see, Prowl kind of had this, upside down triangle, these 2 or 3 little lines over here. I believe it was just 2 little lines here on the side. And when we did the Blue Streak review, I pointed out that he had a completely different waist here, so that was something they use a different mold. Also, whenever you look here at the ab section, Prowse is kind of a gunmetal color to where Blue Streaks is kind of silver. Now, bringing in Smokescreen, one thing I wanted to point out with him is the waist section that they decided to go with him is the exact same as Prowse. It's non-painted, and the waist section for Smokescreen isn't painted either, so that's something that's a little bit different. But as far as articulation goes, he can move his head back and forth. It kind of goes up and down a bit. You can remove these cannons if you want and put those little clips into the back. The doors or wings go back and forth. You can go up and down, so kind of do them G1 if you want, or do this new little design. The other thing that was different is the shoulders. As you can see that they put the wheels here at the top and added another joint there. So that was a very cool design to make him look a little bit more different than the other two. You can go, in and out here and rotate here. This goes up and down, rotates here. If you didn't have the gun there, it'd go 180 bend. Does rotate here at the wrist. In and out clamp with the 4 fingers there. Thumb is stationary. Bend here at the waist, can go forward with the thigh, back, go all the way out, rotates, bends at the knee. He can actually collapse that section, and he can get on one bended knee there. And he does have a little bit of ankle rocker there. But overall, very awesome figure. If I was just going to get one, it would probably be him. I mean, I haven't seen the Diaclone Blue Streak yet, but I am quite impressed with Smokescreen here. Everything that I've said, if I was only going to get one character, this would be the guy. So let's see if we can get all 6 of these guys here in the same shot. And just bring them around and I guess put everybody in front of, who they're supposed to be here. And there you go, guys. So there are all 6 of the Datsun so far all put together. And thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it was kind of a long video, but I wanted, since I had all 6 of them now, to kind of show them in a comparison video, so you can make the best informed decision. If you only were going to get one, now you kind of got all 3 of my opinions out there, and I will attach the links to those reviews in the description. So thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you guys later, and have a good day.